Good morning, students. Today we have to see the next lecture on DAA, that is Design and Analysis of Algorithm. In last two lectures, we will see what is the introduction. We already see what is the introduction of that particular unit number 1 of DAA, and from that unit number 1, we also cover the first topic, that is algorithm. What are the properties of algorithm? What are the characteristics of algorithm, etc., etc. So also in last lecture we also cover different types of algorithm techniques. From that 6 to 7 techniques we covered 3 techniques in last lecture. That will be algorithm design techniques. In that lecture we cover the next algorithm design technique, that is fourth number, branch and bound algorithm. So students, what is branch and bound? The branch and bound algorithm technique is used to solve optimization problems. The problems which gives us lots of optimal solution, and from that we have to get the best solution or the better solution or the good solution. That is what, for that purpose we use branch and bound algorithm. In the next point of that branch and bound, what we have performed for that branch and bound? Students, here that branch and bound makes simply a tree structure. How it will make a tree structure? So first of all, students, we have to take the problem. If that problem does not solve, we divide that problems in the form of two sub-problems. Means we have to divide that parent or that root into two subroots. That main problem, that is original problem, that original problem is called as root problem or root problem. That root problem is divided into two sub-problems. For example, sub-problem 1 and sub-problem 2. After that, we have to check the best solution or the solution, optimal solution, by applying bound to each and every node. If the bound do not match, we again divide that problem into two sub-childs or two sub-problems. For example, S3 and S4. Like that, we have to divide that problems and mix lots of sub-problems in the form of parent and child. That particular structure is called as tree structure, and we again and again apply bound. If that bound does not match, then that will be divide the problem into two sub-problems. Otherwise, if the bound is matched at the root, then we have to get the feasible solution. Means what, we have to get the optimal solution. Otherwise, we execute that process again and again. We convert or we divide the root into two sub problems, means child 1 and child 2. Then we apply bounding method. After that, if we do not match the base solution or the solution with that particular sub problem, solution of the sub problem, we divide that sub problem again two different types of sub problems. That is called as branch and bound method. So students, where we have to use that particular branch and bound method? Students, in last lecture I already give example of shortest path algorithm. So shortest path algorithm is the greatest example of that branch and bound algorithm. Students, when we for example, when we decide to go from Dhule to Pune, they have a lots of paths, and from that we choose the best one. Means we apply bound to a specific path, we find the distance. Again we have to apply the path to the second apply bound to the second path. Then we have to find the solution. If we match that particular bound, and if that bound is matched with the shortest distance, then that is our best path. Means we have to choose that path. That is called as branch and bound method. Students, the next technique of algorithm design is brute force algorithm. It is very easy to implement. That particular brute force method tries all the possibilities of solutions. we have to try all the possibilities of solutions, and if we try all the possibility of solutions with the satisfactory solution, and if we get the solution with the satisfactory solutions, we have to terminate that brute force algorithm. So for that purpose, we have to perform two steps for that brute force algorithm. First of all, optimizing means we apply that brute force algorithm and find the best solution. If that best solution is matched with the known solution of that problem, then that is the best solution for us. Otherwise, that is not the best solution. Means we do not get the best solution, that's all. And second step is what? Satisfying. Means from that particular optimization steps, if we get the solution and that solution is the satisfactory solution, that is the best solution or that is the solution for that particular algorithm. So that particular technique is called as brute force algorithm. That two techniques as well as 1, 2 and 3, and all the techniques those are covered in that algorithm design techniques. Each and every is explained in unit number 2 to unit number up to unit number 6 briefly. Students, here we see the next algorithm design technique, that is called as randomized algorithm. So what is that randomized algorithm? Students, in that particular randomized algorithm, we have to decide a specific number, that is called as random number, and by using that random at least one random number, by using that at least one random number, we divide that specific for example quick sort. If we have to take the example of quick sort, we have to divide that particular numbers or list of numbers into two parts. In that particular quick sort, we decide any specific random number as a pivot, and after getting the pivot element, we find that the smallest element to the left side and the largest element to the right side, and after getting that particular, we again decide the pivot for the next list, and that process is executed again and again, and trying to factor a large number of number by choosing a random possible or numbers as a possible solutions. After that, at last we get that specific list into the sorting order. So for that purpose, we have to use randomized algorithm. These are the 2 to 3 steps. First of all, we have to choose the random number. In quick sort, we have to choose the random number as a pivot, and after that we find that up to the execution of the last list, we find that the rightest element of that list is the greatest element, larger number, and the left is what? The smaller number. And finally we find, by applying that particular randomized algorithm, we find that the quick sort list goes in a sorting order, and after that we have to get the possible solution. This is what randomized algorithm. The next technique is number 7, that is what the backtracking algorithm. What is backtracking algorithm? It is very simple algorithm. For example, if we have to apply the specific backtracking to tree, at that point we have to find the solution for the first root. If we do not get, we have to go for the next node, and after that we have to go for the next node. If we do not get the solution here, and this is what the last choice point, we have to backtrack to its root, and after that we do not find the solution, then we have to go for the right. If we do not find the solution, we again go to the root, and like this we have to backtrack and backtrack. That's why that method is called as backtracking algorithm method. So what are the points are important for that backtracking algorithm? So first of all, backtracking algorithm, try each possibility until find a right one. If a depth first search, it is nothing but a depth first search, we have to find the solution of the set of possible solutions. We get from that by using that backtracking method, we have to find the lots of possible solutions, and from that we have to choose the best one. For that purpose we have to make number of choice points, and if the choice point is the last choice point, if the choice and after last choice point, if we do not get the searching of the specific element, then that specific backtracking method gets failed. That's it. That is called as backtracking algorithm. Students, next technique is recursive algorithm technique. In that recursive algorithm technique, that algorithm is used to solve best case or best cases directly. In that specific algorithm technique, we have to recur with a simple subproblems. And lastly, that recursive algorithm does some extra work to convert the solution to the simpler subproblem into a solution to the given problem. So students, you have to use that recursive algorithm when you have to perform the program like as Fibonacci as well as factorial, and solves it directly for best cases. So up to that 8 algorithm techniques, we go for the next and very important table, that is time complexity of sorting algorithm. So this is very important. Basically there is a one question, MCQ question on that time complexity of, for example, merge sort, insertion sort, quick sort, heap sort and radix sort. So in that table I have given you the best case, average case as well as worst case for the sorting algorithm: insertion, heap sort, quick sort, merge sort and radix sort. So what is the best case for the insertion sort? In next lectures we have to see that what is base case, what is the average case and what is worst case. The base case, in a minimum amount of time that particular algorithm is executed, that particular time complexity is called complexity case is called as base case. Average number of specific time is required to execute that particular problem or subproblem, that is nothing but the average case. And last one is worst case, maximum number of time is required to execute that particular algorithm or particular sorting technique. That particular concept is called as worst case. For example, here we have to take in 5 to 6 different types of sorting techniques. For example, first one is insertion sort. What is the base case of that insertion sort? That is omega n. Then next, average case is what? Theta of n square. And last one is worst case is Vigo notation n square. So for that particular base cases, we have to see here omega, and after that for the average theta, and last one is worst case. For that purpose we have to use Vigo notations. So this is for the time complexity of that insertion sort. If we go for the next heap sort, and this is what the last topic in unit number 1. At that time we have to see what is or how we have to calculate the time complexity in the form of base as well as average as well as worst case. So heap sort, Vigo notation n log n, this is the best case time complexity. Average theta of n log n, and worst case Vigo notation n log n, means that specific time required for the base case, average case as well as worst case is same for the heap sort algorithm. The next one is quick sort. For the quick sort, there is best case and average case time complexities near about or approximate same n log n, and worst case time complexity is what? Vigo notation n square. Next one is merge sort. For the merge sorting technique, we require average, base as well as worst case time complexity same for execution of merge sort algorithm. And last one is radix sort. For that radix sort, we also require same time complexity for each and every cases, average case as well as base case and worst case. Students, the next part of that particular unit number 1 is complexity of algorithm. Here we have to calculate two different types of complexity of the algorithm. First one is time complexity and next one is space complexity. So how we have to calculate the time complexity or the space complexity? By using that complexity of algorithm, we have to calculate the running time of algorithm. How much time it will be required to execute that particular algorithm and how much space is required to store the specific variables or the values, and for that purpose we have to require some time or some space. That particular space is called as space complexity, and the time required to execute that application or the particular program or algorithm, that is called as time complexity. What are the parameters we require, or what are the parameters we have to see for that calculation of time complexity? Here they are these are the three basic points or parameters we require. First of all, if we have to solve the program to perform some basic operations, for example, what are the basic operations we have to perform? For example, we have to perform addition, subtraction, multiplication, the next logical and, logical or, not, etc., etc. These are the basic operations. How we have to calculate the time complexity for the basic operations? It must be, or it is very much easy, because here we do not require, or that particular time do not require, or the time that does not depend on the specific values of that operands, means those operands we are used for that addition, subtraction or multiplication or logical and, etc., etc. It simply count the time or amount of time on the base of their constant amount of time. Means we define here some constant amount of time for addition, subtraction, multiplication, etc., etc. That is what the basic operation, that is the first parameter we have to take to calculate complexity of the algorithm. After that, input size. So each and every program, when it will be executed, or algorithm it will be executed, at that time we have to require input. For example, if we have to take sorting example, for example, insertion sort, merge sort, quick sort, at that time we provide multiple inputs. If the multiple inputs are increases, the time required for the execution of that program is also increases. And last one is growth rate. If the input size is increased, input size means what? Multiple inputs those are taken for the program. For example, for the algorithm, for example, quick sort, merge sort, heap sort, radix sort. Okay, that is what the input size. And if the input size is increases, the growth rate is also increased. So these are the three parameters when we have to find the complexity of the algorithm.